Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. What is today? Today is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. So that means this is Wednesday word of the day. And today's word is canning. Now, before I get started, I have to do my usual housekeeping. Please give the video a thumbs up. Make sure to share the video and subscribe if you are not already a subscriber. Thank you in advance. Now today, word of the day Wednesday is where I come up with a word, excuse me, for the day. And I normally read to you from the dictionary's version of the word. Sometimes I'll have a story or a scenario that goes along with that word of the day. Now, here we go. Again, today's word is canning. For those of you avid preppers, you already know all about canning. Most of you. Some of you still don't can. But canning is a method of preserving food in which the food contents are processed and sealed in an airtight container, such as jars like mason jars and steel and tin cans. Canning provides a shelf life that typically ranges from 1 to 5 years, although under specific circumstances, it can be much longer, as many of you know, for those of you who do can. A freeze-dried canned product such as canned dried lentils could last as long as 30 years in an edible state. In 1974, samples of canned food from the wreck of Bertrand, a steamboat that sank in Missouri River in 1865, were tested by National Food Processors Association. Although appearance, smell, and vitamin content had deteriorated, there was no trace of microbial growth, and the 109-year-old food was determined to still be safe to eat. So as it stated, mason jars are good or was used when people are canning. And so I chose this word because I am on the path to learning to can. I did a video previously sharing that I recently received all of my goodies so that I can proceed with canning. For me, it's already a long process, but for those who are already used to canning, kudos to you. But for me, it's a little bit of a challenge. So I have to take baby steps. And when I say baby steps, that's exactly what I mean. So I have all of the necessary items in order to can. I have the ground beef and ground turkey that I'm planning on starting with. So yesterday, what I did was I washed out my canner, my pressure canner, made sure that the valve was on properly and the seal on the inside. Set that to the side for it to dry out. I've thawed out my meat. I washed out my jars because you want to make sure that your jars are clean and sterile. So I hand washed them, and now I have them in the dishwasher. And what I'm going to do is let them go through the cycle again in the dishwasher, and then they can have that heat when, the dishwasher dries your dishes and they're hot, because from what I understand, the jars need to be hot. They need to be sterile. So I've done those processes. So again, for me is baby steps. So I got all of the cleanliness part out of the way. And hopefully later today, I'll be able to move forward with the rest of the process, which is cooking the meat and getting the meat inside of the jars and doing the rest of the process and getting the food into the canner. And we'll see what happens. I'll do the canning process. So I've already looked up my altitude for where I live, because you have to have the correct altitude when you're canning. So I've already done the research for that. And I have my seasoning set to the side. I have my vinegar set to the side. I have my bands, which are these. They're clean and they're, drop that. Anyway, they're ready to go. So everything is already pretty much set up. Like I said, all I have to do is cook the meat, get them in the jars. So like a little assembly line, I have everything situated, and we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed that I do it right. I might not do the video as I go along. We'll see. But if anything, I will come back and let you know that I did do the process and how it turned out, if worse comes to worse. But anyway, that is the word of the day, canning. So if you are interested in canning, I suggest you do your research, get your supplies, and if you're like me, you have to do baby steps a little bit at a time. But I'm sure once I get started and I get more used to canning, it won't be as daunting as I'm thinking it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to work out and be fun, because I've been having a ball with the vacuum sealer. I mean, I've vacuum sealed so many chicken drumettes and stuffed them in the deep freezer. I mean, I've just vacuum sealed everything I could get my hands on. Cheese, beans, all kinds of stuff. And I've also put some things in Mylar bags. So I've been working on that as well. And it did shrink a little bit. I put some Cheerios. So I started there. I have a big bag of rice that I need to put into the Mylar bag. So I'll be working on that this week as well. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the word of the day. I hope it motivates you to start canning if you're not already on that path. And don't forget to wake up and start every day with an attitude of gratitude. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.